Welcome into another film breakdown here on Logan EB's Scout Room. Today, we're going to be coming in with some more Dash Daniels. He played the other day, I believe the 25th, against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. His Melbourne United squad came away with another win to improve to, I want to say, 4-0. They've looked like the best team in the NBL so far. And I thought this game from Dash was even better than the last game. Again, I was pretty public in the last video about how I was a little bit lower on Dash coming in. The U19 tape was a little bit scary to me in terms of the offensive production, but I think so far in the NBL he has looked very, very productive. So let's just immediately jump into it. I think there's going to be a lot to show. There's not really any negative plays in here. I think there were a couple defensive lapses, but generally he was so good on the defensive end, that I didn't think it was worthy of being clipped out. So first play here, again, Dash is going to be this guy up here, number 4 in the navy blue. He's going to come around this ball screen, and he's going to come in defend in isolation here. The ball screen actually. He's going to get around the screen, and then this is just that supreme length that the kid has. He's just incredibly long, just like his brother is, able to get that left hand to deflect the pass, get out in transition. I believe Tyson Walker scores here on an easy layup. Kept the clips a little bit shorter today to save time, just experimenting with this. This next play, again, we're now at 5:20 in the first quarter, so this is just the next defensive possession down. He's going to jump too high on the pump fake. I think this is the one real defensive blemish I wanted to show. I think the thing with Dash is sometimes he can get a little bit overly happy to deflect things. I think this is a trait that Dyson has in the NBA as well. I think it's why it keeps Dyson away from being a true top defensive talent in terms of just the best of the best. The Alex Carusos, those kind of guys. I think he's just a step below the Caruso types just because he can hunt the deflection so much, play a little bit more of a disruptive defense as opposed to a shell. I think there's less scheme versatility, and I think Dash right now, again, very young, has a little bit of that trait as well. Just gets a little bit happy to kind of disrupt the pass here. It's not even really a pump fake that he jumps on. It's more of just trying to deflect away the pass, just like he did on the last possession, and in doing so lets the guy go to the lane. I just wanted to highlight that one specifically because I think it's something he shares with his brother, which is pretty fascinating. I'd love to potentially learn something about their basketball development and why they both have that trait, but overall I think this is the really only blemish on his record today. Next possession down, Dash is going to, again, be fantastic here. The length is just so impressive. The deflection this game, I want to say he had 4 or 5 total deflections or steals. Like if you did his Hakeem percentage for this game, which is a stat that combines your steals and block rates into one statistic, it would be wildly high for this game. Didn't really get in any foul trouble either. Ball handler here is going to counter, reject the screen, go to his left, and you can see Dash kind of lose his position here. Like he's not really winning this rep right now, but that length is just so long. He was able to poke the ball away, get it, kick it back out to his guy. They're going to run the floor here. I think they instantly turn it over due to no fault of Dash. So then he's able to just come here, grab the ball back, and I thought this is one of his better offensive reps all night. This guy's opening his hips pretty wide here to just return to Dash here. So he's going to instantly recognize that, make the kick out, and that's going to be a wide open 3. That's some offensive improvement that he didn't have. I thought that stint in the first quarter was pretty good out of Dash, but it's this second quarter we're now moving into that I thought was one of the best quarters of basketball I've seen him play. Definitely in the NBL of the 3 games he's played. I think potentially over his entire basketball career, it's some of the best quarters and most encouraging quarter I've seen him play in a very long time. It gets into about this 5-6 minute mark. One of the first plays in the game, he's going to run downhill here, and he's just going to use that strength that he has. So this is a kid who's 17 years old, playing in a grown man league in the NBL where they just kind of let you hit each other, and he's able to get downhill, bump this guy with the left shoulder. Again, this guy's probably 30 years old. I don't know who this is. I'm not very familiar with the Southeast Melbourne squad yet. Hopefully that'll change throughout the season, but just drives his shoulder on the guy, creates some separation. He's able to make the floater. I did not edit this clip the best, and so I'm just trimming off the end of it, but I think the touch on the floater has been really impressive as well. You're going to see one of those. I believe this next play here, coming down to the ball screen, going to take the seal, and then banks a floater off the glass. His floater touch has been really encouraging for a kid who can get wiped out at the rim despite being strong, as I just said, and he's shown in these last 2 plays. But when he's gotten to this right hand, he's been really able to get downhill, utilize the athleticism. He has great base on his floater. If I go frame by frame, you can see him really square his hips while turning the corner here. Just right about here, he's not quite squared with the rim, but as he plants, he's able to instantly rotate his hips. By the time the ball comes off his hand, he's perfectly squared. Stuff like that is just little stuff that I like to project out to an NBA player. It can add more to your shot arsenal, so I like that out of him. And then a good touch on the floater as well. A couple plays later, we're now at 4:30 in the second quarter. I thought this was one of his worst offensive plays. I like trying to lob. I think he rampages his pass really, really well. Obviously has an open lane. There's 3 guys in the paint. They're in a 4-on-3 situation. 2 guys lagging behind here in transition. I think going downhill is definitely the right play. I think maybe you take one more dribble and you throw the dump off pass is what I would have advised on this play. If you can see right about here, I think this guy's not fully stepped up in the play. If you take one more dribble, you definitely have a dump-off pass to, I believe this is Jesse Edwards down here on the block. But he's going to try to throw the lob, and I actually don't think the placement on it is very bad. I think if this is an NBA center as opposed to an NBL center, one a little bit more athletic, some NBA type pop on the jump on the way up, I think this ends up potentially being flushed down. But I think this is a little bit of a KYP, know your personnel type of moment for Dash. This isn't a lob I would throw. I would try to take the one more dribble, throw the ball inside. But I think generally the fact that he's trying these things and it results in a foul due to, in all respect to Dash, nothing he really did at all. Looks like the defender got under his feet a little bit here, but I think that wasn't great. Again, next play down, he was incredibly active in this quarter. We're now at the 4:10 mark, roughly. He's going to hit a hit-ahead here. That's going to be another wide-open 3. They're going to drain that one. They start going a little bit of run here in the second quarter, end up winning this one by, I want to say, about 20. The threes were really falling for the Melbourne squad. A couple plays later, 3:30 to go in the second quarter. I thought this was a good defensive rep from Dash, just showing more of that length and how disruptive he is on the ball. Again, kind of gets beat here, has to swivel his hips open, but you can see his recovery speed is so good. And he's able to get a hand on the ball here. Guys, to go up for a really tough floater. He looks kind of open, but it's really just not an advised shot. He's incredibly off balance. He kind of shoots it while he's falling down. Ball ends up going out of bounds off the Melbourne squad due to no fault of Dash. A couple plays later, now I want to say the next defensive possession. Again, this is how active this kid is on the defensive end. We're at 2:50. Last play was at 3:30. This next play, I want to say he gets a hand in on the dig here, if I'm not mistaken. Guy drives his way. He's sitting right here in this gap. I think playing this perfectly. He's maybe an arm and a half length away from the shooter. Guy's obviously ready to shoot. He's going to get the hand in and just... He doesn't quite strip the ball, but he does force the rough gather into the rough left-handedness. I believe that's my guy Austin Foxwell, who I thought was very intriguing a couple years ago, and hasn't quite panned out to be that great. But I think this is just, again, more of that disruptive length. This is just what he does. Now 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. I think this one, he kind of just gives up the matchup to his big, but I think it's good defensive awareness. He's able to rescore his hips. Again, you can see how active he is with his hands in the gap here. Like, the hands are always out. They're in the general space of the ball handler without fouling, stuff that I really like to see. Again, now we're in the third quarter. The game, I think that Southeast Melbourne dragged it back early in this third quarter when Dash was off the floor. The offense started to get a lot better. Dash is able to come in, show more of the defensive technique, tips this ball away on the pass. Again, I believe this is Austin Foxwell. It definitely is. It looks just like him. I believe he tips that one away, and that's going to result in out of bounds and a turnover. Again, just racking up the deflections, racking up the steals. Chases his guy around a screen here, forces a tough mid-range shot. We'll live with that. Like, we will absolutely live with that. He knows to kind of sink on the screen here because even if this guy is a capable shooter, he has the length to make this contest. So your guy instantly wants to go downhill. You would think he's behind here on the step. He hasn't even planted his left foot here. Guy's already moving downhill, but that recovery speed is so good. The balance is so good. He's able to get a contest on the mid-range shot. Guy just happens to drain it. We're going to live with that. Now 4:30 to go. Next defensive possession down for the Melbourne squad. He's going to fight around the screen, chasing the same guy. Kind of gives up a little bit of a weird switch here. For what it's worth, I don't love the dig from this guy here. I get that that's the Melbourne scheme. I generally like their defensive scheme. I think it puts Dash in a situation where he really can't recover, and now he's stuck with the big man. And the big man's just going to foul here. But again, I think he's generally good at getting through screens. I like the physicality here. It's just more stuff that I think has to be ironed out as the season goes on. Again, he's 17 years old, playing in a professional league, and the defense already looks this good. With like these are the small blemishes. It's like you didn't quite recover well on the dig, and you can see he kind of misses the box out. I don't know if it was before or after the whistle. I'm not going to kill him for that at all. Now in the fourth quarter, this is one of the last plays on the tape here for Mr. Daniels. Going to find around the screen off the ball. Again, this is good navigation here. Quickly, he's able to swivel the hips, get the shoulder around in order to chase properly. Re-squares his hips as this ball screen is going to come in. He's going to fight around the screen. Again, keeps the hand in. Forces another tough mid-range shot. We will absolutely have lived with that shot. There's some guys in the NBA who, again, they're going to get you at that. You know, the Shays, like even guys like Trae Young, Luka, that you kind of don't want taking that shot. I think in the NBL, we're more than okay with giving that shot up. He's going to force up this tough mid-range. And that was really it from Daniels this game. I just thought the defense was so impressive from him. I've been really encouraged with what he's shown so far this year as someone who was a little bit more skeptical on him coming into the year. So I'm very, very excited for what he's shown. I think the length is incredibly impressive. This is someone who's very strong, very active at only 17 years old. I think right now, if I had to rank him, which I mean, I have an unofficial board, nothing's final yet, obviously, I'd probably have him in that 15 to 20 range. This might be the best perimeter defender in this class. I think there's a couple guys who could compete for that, but I think right now I'd have to give it to Daniels. So that was it for today. Again, this one's a little bit shorter, just with Daniels. Kept the clips a little bit shorter as well. But again, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe on both the Substack YouTube feed. This has been Logan's Scout Room.